Do you want to get the best sleeps of your life? If you have biometric tracking devices like the Oura Ring or the Whoop Band or the Garmin watch or whatever you have, do you want to get into the 90s, into the 95, 100 range, right? This is something that you can achieve. This is something that you can do on a regular basis. You just have to follow the formula. You have to follow the proven steps in order to help you get deep, rejuvenating, powerful sleeps so that you can feel energized every single day and kick butt and take names the next day. I'm Dr. Isaac Jones. I'm gonna get into my top sleep strategies and solutions. This is a very geeky video, and I would consider probably this video one of the best sleep videos out there that will blow you away once you get done with this. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do, like we shared in prior videos, if you guys are subscribers to my channel, that we need to identify as healthy. We need to identify as a longevity hacker or whatever it is. I am somebody that makes healthy choices and decisions on a regular basis. If your identity is not something that you're reaffirming every single day, when you slip up, you're not beating yourself up, you're continuing to reaffirm that new identity that you're adopting, that is absolutely huge. So the identity that I want you to have is I am a sleep expert. I'm somebody that is an expert sleep individual, and I'm gonna crush sleep, right? Every single night, I'm gonna knock it out of the park. So that means that you need to take sleep serious, and you need to take this video seriously. So the first thing that I think that we need before anything is, again, adopt an identity of being a sleep expert. The second thing is absolutely huge. You need to be able to be very methodical about going to bed and waking up at the same time, right? I went to one of the top research sleep universities in the world, and my professor, he said after all these years of studying sleep, he said the number one thing that I've uncovered is that people need to go to bed at the same time and they need to wake up at the same time, right? That they need to be consistent with their biological and circadian rhythms. And the more you are consistent with your biological and circadian rhythms, the better deep sleep you get, the more REM sleep you'll get, the higher your sleep scores will be, right? That is absolutely huge. The third tip that I would give is you need to delete digital from your life at night. Now, why do people get on their phones? They typically get on their phones to look at social media. What does social media do to your neurotransmitters and to your sympathetic nervous system? It jacks it up, right? It actually increases stress in your body and your brain. And so what we want to do is have a cutoff time for social media. And what I would recommend is having that cutoff time be a good few hours before you go to bed, right? And some people are like, look, bro, like I'm on the computer till late at night, or I gotta study, or I love my Netflix, shows. That's how I bond with my kids, or whatever, right? I've got a strategy for you. Bear with me one moment. But if you can commit to this, it's going to be absolutely huge. You've got to turn digital off. My goal is to turn it off at around 6 o'clock. I don't pick up my phone. I don't look at it, right? Other than to do like one or two things around watch timing for my breathing or whatever it might be. So that's absolutely critical. And if you do have a phone and you know how to turn the blue light feature on your phone where you can cause it to go red, more into the red hues at night, that is absolutely huge. Now, if you're somebody that says, hey, Dr. Jones, I can't get off my devices at night, what I highly recommend is making sure that even if you're not on devices or you are on a device, that you get your blue light blocking glasses on, okay? So this is absolutely huge. This is part of your nightly routine. You wanna get rid of all that blue light that's gonna stimulate your pituitary gland to inhibit melatonin secretion, which is one of the most important hormones in the body that help to stimulate deep sleep and more rejuvenating sleeps. And you want that deep sleep, guys, because in order to detox the body and stimulate the glymphatic system in the brain, which is the lymphatic system that helps to detox the metabolic byproducts of your brain at night, you need to get deep sleep. If you're not getting that deep sleep, then you're not draining your glymphatic system and your lymphatic system. And so all phases of sleep are important. The REM cycle is important, light sleep is important, but deep sleep is very important for rejuvenation and feeling amazing the next day. So this is gonna help. But the other thing that I think as a part of your nightly routine is to do things that will help you generate parasympathetic, right? Now, this may not be for everybody. You have to figure out a version of what that will look like for you. My wife and I have downloaded this app called the Stretch app. It takes 5-10 minutes. We stretch together. Stretching is a really good thing to do before bed. This is a calf stretching device. It's called Pro Stretch. This is a really good little device to just stretch out your calves. I actually like doing myofascial release. So I do myofascial release. I also have this little device here that allows for you to get rid of the anterior flexor posture that a lot of us are in the day. If we're on our computer, your shoulders start to move forward and you end up with very bad posture. So at the end of the day, I like to roll on this, just kind of stretch out my back and get my body in a good state. So these are things that you can do as a night routine to help you get ready for bed. Stretching. And then this is a meditation block. Meditating on your favorite spiritual scriptures, or meditating on love, meditating on your favorite moments of the day and being in a state of gratitude, and then breathing, right? After your meditation or prayer or whatever it is that you do, you want to do some sort of breathing that will allow for you to get more into parasympathetic state, because a lot of us are in that sympathetic state and it's not, ideal. Okay, so we've talked about night routines, right? We've talked about making sure that you're blocking blue light at night. We've talked about creating consistency in respect to when you go to bed and when you wake up. One other thing that I like to do as a routine when I'm breathing is I use these grounding essential oils. So these essential oils, these are like wooded essential oils. This is a wooded blend. And this is actually very excitatory blend. It's like peppermint and things like that. That's what you do in the morning to like wake yourself up when you're breathing. But I love to use essential oils. So breathing before at night is absolutely essential. Now, the other thing that you want is a really powerful environment. Like you'll find in this room, we don't have television screens. This bedroom is like a sanctuary, right? And I'll just notice if you have a spouse or you have a partner that you're sleeping with, you'll notice the bed in the background, has 2 sets of sheets. I know it doesn't look very good, but why do we have 2 sets of sheets? This is part of creating a really healthy environment, right? This sheet is for my wife, that other sheet is for me. And that's because at night, when I roll around or I'm moving positions, I don't want to pull the sheets off of her and wake her up. So this is a way for her to get, really great sleep at night and for me to get really good sleep at night. The other thing is we have 2 different mattresses on this king size frame. So she doesn't feel me moving around at night. That's a hack that you can do. Like I know not everyone is going to do that, but that's another thing that will allow for you to get really good sleep at night. I also noticed something that I think is pretty cool. It's another massage device that I think is awesome. But this is something that we use on each other's backs at night, or that I just use on my legs or something along those lines that will help you get into parasympathetic. Okay, so what is another powerful way to get into parasympathetic, right? If you're having a hard time getting into parasympathetic, you're a hard charging entrepreneur, executive, or you just have a lot going on, you're a hard charging mom with lots of kids or whatever it is, this is a little like longevity hack or sleep hack that will help you get into parasympathetic. There's different types of vagal stimulation devices. This one, I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that for this, but this is called TrueVaga. And this you put on your right here, and it stimulates your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is the master parasympathetic nerve coming out of your brain that will help you get into parasympathetic state. All right, another way you can get another 5 or 10 points on your biometric tracking devices is by essentially avoiding things that drive inflammation in your body and stimulate your body, okay? So I want you to think about foods that you're eating that can cause inflammation inside your body and immunological reactions. These are food allergies. And oftentimes people that are exposed to food allergies, they don't realize this, but it massively impacts your deep sleep, massively impacts your REM. It causes you to have a terrible readiness score the next day, or whatever device verbiage that you're using. The energy score is just not where it should be. So what you want to do is just be in a state of awareness around what you're consuming in the day and how it's affecting your energy. And so if you eat, say, some dairy or some eggs or some gluten or some processed foods, or if you consume some sort of soy product, or typically it's like vegetable oil, trans fats, etc., that massively impact sugar, impact the level of inflammation in your body, creates food sensitivities and allergies, and that will impact your sleep. Now, another thing to be aware of and to just know in general is that stimulants that have caffeine in it that you consume throughout the day really impact your sleep at night, unfortunately, right? If you want to do some sort of stimulants, you do it really early in the morning. But even I found that with my patients, what I call health participants, they are dealing with lower sleep scores, even if they have stimulants, 1 cup of coffee or something like that early in the morning. Now, I consume really healthy coffee, like Danger Coffee, which is Dave Asprey's brand, or Pure, or Life Boost, which is a really good brand. They're typically shade-grown coffee that has low levels of mold, and I also get them Swiss decaffeinated, so they're decaffeinated. Now, right now, I just don't drink any coffee because I'm such a sleep hacker, and I'm just like so excited about getting hundreds in my sleep scores that I just don't do that at this point in my life. However, if you do that, it is good to get some of the more pure forms of coffee, or green tea or matcha, and then just stay away from stimulants just in general, especially after 12 o'clock, ideally even after 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, so avoid things that drive inflammation up and that impact your sleep, like food allergies and stimulants. We talked about a lot of really good things at this point, but the other thing that I think is important is that when you wake up in the morning, you want to get sunlight first thing in the morning. You want to get outside. You want to actually let sunlight come into your body, as well as in the afternoon. There's research out there that shows that even afternoon sunlight, can really help, but certainly first thing in the morning. And what I do is actually have a panel in my bathroom, because I wake up early in the morning and then I work out, and I do my spiritual routine and my morning routine, etc. I get that first thing when I wake up, and it helps, again, with the circadian rhythms, and allows for us to get in really good states of sleep throughout the day. Now, we've talked about creating a really good environment. We talked about hacks around how to maximize your health. One bonus I'll say with that is I used to have restless leg syndrome with my wife, and if you're dealing with that, what I would recommend is some of the supplements that I've taken are magnesium. You can actually get magnesium cream to rub on your legs at night. But all the things that I'm talking about, where you are stretching, you're using myofascial, you're doing peaceful things like reading, having a bath, a shower, doing breathing exercises, etc. That's all going to help with the things that I'm talking about here. All right, so your temperature is really important for deep sleep as well. Typically, I'm at around 75 degrees. That allows for my body to get in a really good state of sleep. And you can also use temperature regulation devices on the mattresses. So temperature regulation devices are things like 8 Sleep or Oura. There's a few that I've experimented with, but all of them are relatively good, but it allows for you to get into deeper sleeps, deeper delta wave sleep at night, and it can help you with sleep as well. What it does is it drops your temperature down in your bed during deep sleep, which allows for you to get more delta wave sleep, which is that deep sleep, and then you can, hack your sleep score even more in that respect. There are a few other things that I think are important to mention, but the most important thing that I want to share around biometric data is that when you are experimenting with this, don't get too caught up in your sleep score when you're experimenting with new things. I'll give you an example. If you are fasting, right, and you're experimenting with intermittent fasting, your sleep score could get worse before it gets better. But it's not that necessarily the fasting is bad for you. It's just that your body's not used to it yet, and you may go to bed and you feel hungry, and it's gonna take a week or so before your hormone regulation normalizes, where you're not feeling hunger pains before you go to bed or whatever. Like, I'm experimenting right now with stopping eating at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I won't eat at all into the evening. And, I'm experimenting with how my sleep score. So I've been doing that for a while, and it's amazing what it's doing to my sleep score. So again, I'm looking at, okay, how can I get to 95? How can I get to 100, right? What can I do to get another point, 2 points, 3 points on my sleep score? When you're experimenting, and when I first started doing these things, my sleep score dropped into the 70s. And I was like, what? How is it going into this is crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stick with this. And sure enough, it normalized, my hormones normalized, etc. Whatever I was experimenting with, maybe it was a shift in my diet or a shift in my lifestyle, which I knew was healthy, right? It ended up impacting me in a positive way. So just, don't get too caught up when you're experimenting on the data. You got to be consistent with it, and then you'll start seeing some incredible results. Last thing I'll say is really important is, to the point that I said earlier, whenever I eat late at night, my sleep score drops by 10, 20 points. So you want to eat early, right? I would recommend, eat at 4 or 5 o'clock, right? If you can even experiment with eating an afternoon meal and then be done for the day, see what that does for your sleep score. I know a lot of my clients, it helps their sleep score completely transform. So what that does is you go to bed in a place where your body is not hungry anymore, or you go to bed where your body isn't digesting food, And then what happens is you're able to recover throughout the night at a higher level, and your sleep is pretty incredible. So I'm so excited for you to get this information. Thank you so much for watching this. Please share it with somebody that you think might find value in this. I'd love for you to like, to click that bell button so that you are notified when more longevity hacking and high performance health tips and strategies come out on my YouTube channel. And I'd love to continue to add value to you in different ways. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. I'm Dr. Isaac Jones. We'll talk to you soon.